are like 40% of the nation as far as our type of government that has a city council member that leads our role, and we are the supporting role. And the mayor is just 1/7 of that support. He's not the one that should take the lead. He should be the supporting actor. He should not take the forefront and say that all these ideas that are great are mine. He should be in the background. Very much similar to an offensive lineman on a football team. I actually have a little bit of experience of that from Texas Christian University. Graduated from O'Connell. I got to play football at Texas Christian University and graduate there after 5 years. As an offensive lineman, you get very little credit. You're told that you're part of a team known as the Big Nasties or the Fat Gentlemen. Bad names like that, but we take it in stride because we're humble and we know that our job is to open holes for the quarterback or the running back. Very much similar to our form of government. The mayor here in Galveston should be a supporting role. He should be the fat lineman that makes holes for the running back, that opens the gauge and opens opportunity for our community and opens opportunity for our city manager, that creates consensus, is not worried about the lead acting role, but is just fine and settled with the supporting role. As your mayor, I am okay with the supporting role. I can lead by making holes, and I'd appreciate your vote for Bo Rollins. Thank you.
Thank you, Bo Rollins, candidate for mayor. And now, our current mayor, who's running for a second term, Mr. Joe Jaworski.
Thank you, George. Good evening, everyone. I also want to recognize Lyda Thomas, one of my colleagues for 6 years, but also another mayor is in the house, Barbara Cruz. And Barbara, both you and Lyda Ann certainly know the path that I've walked these last 2 years. Barbara, of course, had a great deal to do with Gaines formation, so Bill, we want to recognize her as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is great to see. The Grand is a beautiful place, and y'all have come out to see the candidates, and you've come to see me. I just want to say, I am asking for your vote for a second term. I want to say that now, and get that right out, because I don't want anyone to think for 1 minute that just because I'm mayor now, I think that somehow that preordains that I should get your vote. I want you to know I'm working even harder than I did 2 years ago, out in the neighborhoods, meeting people on their porches, talking to them on the phone. It's important, I think, that a mayor of this city not isolate himself or herself in one comfort zone. I think if I were to define sort of and describe what the last 2 years have been like, it's been to get outside of my comfort zone so that I can credibly be the mayor for the entire city. That's been an incredible growing experience. It's helped me do things like see that seawall parking is a difficult issue that eluded leadership in this island. And when the Chamber of Commerce wanted this council and this mayor to move on it right away in November after we got elected, it was myself that said, wait, let's wait until May, because I think we'll have a better chance to vet it. Housing, we'll talk about it. I want you all to know that probably the most difficult thing has been looking at the agreements and dealing with agreements that were made before I was mayor and trying to make it work for all the people of Galveston. I want you to take a minute and put yourself in my shoes, and then we can have a conversation.
Thank you, Joe. And that concludes what we cleverly refer to as the opening remarks. You'll never guess why. Now we're going to launch right into the questions. And this one's rather basic. This came in the email just yesterday. And I'm going to put this one out to everybody, council candidates and mayors. And we're going to start with Mr. Quiroga down there at that end. Why did you decide to run for office, and will you be prepared when you attend workshops and council meetings?
The basic reason why I wanted to run is enough's enough. We have a disarray, a dysfunctional council, and we have a dysfunctional city hall. This has been going on for years. It didn't happen yesterday. This was through the generations. I brought it up, and a lot of you that read the Galveston Daily News and the blogs, I kept saying that we have a problem, but it fell on deaf ears. We have a city manager who left, we had a city attorney who left, so why did they leave? They knew what was coming down the pipe. Yes, George, I will have a plan. I have a plan now. One of the things we're overlooking is hurricane season is coming along. I want to get District 5 ready, what we need to do, our points that we need to congregate to, what's going to happen afterwards, and get together with some of the grocery stores, everything that we need. And just remember what happened when Ike hit. It was a mayhem. Thank you.
All right, Jerry Kinnear, District 5.
My job as an interior designer had me working with many different people to accomplish one job. You have to work together. You have to have a consensus. That's also what I did as chairman of the park board. I worked with various people in the city or in the CBB, in the tourism industry, with the restaurants, to bring a consensus. We came together and we did things. I think that I can do that on city council, to bring consensus, to have people work together. It's something I've done most of my working life.
Carolyn Tarleton, District 5.
As planning on the Planning Commission and as chair of Planning Commission, I always studied my packets, I always went out to our locations, I visited with neighbors, I always read the incoming responses from everyone that would send them in. But my main reason for running for office is I'm tired of this city. After being here for 17 years, there seems to be a select group that wants to continue to tell us how we're going to live and how we're going to, how our businesses, what businesses can come and cannot. And the main reason I got into it, and the final reason, was because one of my opponents actually serves on a GHA board that supports the mixed income housing, and I think that needs to be known. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheryl Roser, District 3.
I will vote for progress. I will get things done and moving again in Galveston. We need to focus our attention on property owners and the needs and the bureaucracy of the system in place that's keeping them from recovery. We need to support our port. I'm very excited about a proposal for a rail project at Pelican Island that's going to improve our city and possibly improve our bridge over to Pelican Island, and work with UTMB and the opportunities that their billion-dollar investment brings to Galveston. I feel that we need to have open lines of communication with all the stakeholders in Galveston. We have a government that is not working together, and we do need to bring consensus. As I mentioned in my opening statement, I work every day with a team that focuses on getting things done, complete, and progress. I'll vote for progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Elizabeth Beaton.
I ran for council 4 years ago because I wanted the issues facing the council to be explored with more depth, and for those issues and the implications of them to be communicated to the public. And yes, I do prepare myself for every issue at workshop and council. That's one reason I serve on 8 committees and boards, because those boards look with more detail at the issues that ultimately will face council. I consider that very important. It's a big part of my job to educate the public about what I've learned after I've done my research. And that's another reason that I decided to run for council. I felt that was lacking, and we needed to get that done. And I do hope that with our new city manager, we'll have staff doing more of the research that needs to be accomplished before issues are brought to the council.
Thank you. Carlos Woods, District 1.
As I stated earlier in my introduction, I feel that there's so much unfinished work that's left to be done. if you can imagine working within the community 28 years, and you see so many things within your community that needs to be done, such as cleaning, the infrastructure, jobs, affordable housing. You see this for 28 years. And then finally, when you get on council, 4 months later, Hurricane Ike hit. And there we were, trying to deal with the recovery. And 4 years later, we're still trying to deal with the recovery. So many things that I wanted to do, that first go around, I just didn't have the chance, opportunity to do. And hopefully I can accomplish some of those goals this time around. Thank you.
Thank you. Cornelia Harris Banks, District 1.
Thank you, Lee. Well, as a former city council person or woman, I really zeroed on focused on Galveston's families, our neighborhoods, our safety, and I can say I would be prepared. Mayor Thomas can tell you at the end of my term, I had been on all 44 committees, and I certainly have done my part. And losing everything like many of you did in 2008, I have dug in, worked with the Galveston Northside Task Force and many other groups in order to make sure that our city is back. Thank you.
Thank you, Cornelia. Now, Mayor Jaworski.
Guys, this is a serious question. I ran for mayor because I want to help and because a lot of you don't. Trust me, a lot of you in the audience would make great mayors. But a lot of people just turn their back. No wonder. It's hard. And you don't get thanked a lot. And sometimes you get insults hurled at you. But this is not about feeling sorry for yourself. It's about stepping up. And my dad and my granddad have a long history of that service. I'm a lawyer like they were. So this is a way of being connected in your community. And now my children and my wife and I love Galveston, like so many of us do, and I want this place to be better than it has been. And so I decided to throw my hat in the ring, and 2 years ago, it worked out, and I've had a heck of a ride. And I'm asking for another term, folks. I'll be prepared, trust me.
Thank you. Bo Rollins.
I could definitely go way beyond a minute for the reasons that I've run, so I'll go with my top 4. My very first reason is because of my love and passion for Galveston. This place I would not trade for the world, this community and where I live, where I'm from. Secondly, because I was asked to, and it really allowed me to reflect on just how much passion and love I did have for the community and accepted that responsibility. And for the real big reasons were just how tone deaf our leadership had become to the citizens and community of Galveston. I felt like they just turned the speaker completely off to all of the citizens. And I was very upset about that and felt like I needed to activate myself in this position to make sure if they didn't hear us, I could yell a little bit louder. And then finally, being as the vice president of the school board, I realized just how much the leadership was not listening and how much it would affect our education and our quality of life in Galveston to see how underfinanced our school district was and that there was no care in the world of how that would be affected. And I will be prepared.
Thank you. Mr. Rosen.
I am prepared, and the reason I'm running is because I'm watching Channel 16 at home, and I'm complaining and complaining and complaining. And my sweet wife, Fredell, says, quit bitching and do something about it. And here I am. And believe me, I am going to do something about it. And the main thing I think I can bring to the city council is the ability to work with people and have a cohesive city council that will work together with a plan and see that plan to completion. I do love this town. I've been here 47 years. I have no other love of any other community other than Galveston. Thank you.
Thank you. Greg Ruth.
Ladies and gentlemen, When I was very young, I decided that I wanted to become a teacher, and I did. I've been a professor of economics at Alvin Community College for 15 years. Teaching is public service of the best kind. When you deal with young people and you watch people earn college degrees and really see them move into positions of opportunity, you know that public service is a blessing. Joe, your family is very inspirational to me. Big time. I was at the Lyndon Johnson Library last week, and when you look at the service of presidents here in Texas, it really, it's very important. I have been blessed to be elected by the people of Galveston to the Galveston College Board of Regents in 2006. I have served on that board. My term will expire in May. It's been a blessing to serve here in Galveston and to see the things government can do right. I'd like to enter into the mayor's race and enter into the mayor's position because I believe that I can help Galveston if I get there. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg Bruce. All right, this one is for the council candidates. The mayor's got to answer this one last time, and now we're going to ask the council people. Let's start with Cornelia Harris Banks. Do you support or oppose casino gambling in Galveston?
Yes, I do support, and I do know that when I think about certain issues, I know that we have not been a city that is interested in, but I'm always looking for a means to bring the economy back in our city, and therefore I must say yes.
Thank you. Charles Woods.
Stand up for that. You know, okay. Do I support casino gambling? That's your question. Hopefully, working with different groups, entities, chamber, that we could find some other economic means of building our base up and building our middle class up without gambling. I would have to give that thought, I would have to give that question some more thought. But at this particular time, I would have to say, no, I do not support gambling if there's some, I do not support gambling. Thank you.
Well, that was pretty clear. Okay, Elizabeth Beaton, District 3.
And I'll be equally clear, I do not support casino gambling in Galveston. It won't bring economic value to our city. The money that goes into the casinos will be taken out. And I think that we can find other ways of building our economy without resorting to that hollow promise. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheryl Rozier, District 3.
If you ask me if I support casino gambling, the answer is yes. If I was to go to the polls and vote, I would say yes. But it is not for me to decide what the citizens of Galveston have or get. It should be a local option vote. Everyone on this island should have a choice and be able to vote on whether they want that in this town. If the legislature does not give Galveston that option, as your council member, I will go to the legislature and fight to get you that right to be able to pull the ballot lever yourself. And to answer the other question, I will always be prepared for any meeting I have to attend. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you. Carolyn Tarleton.
I personally do not like to gamble. I don't even like to put a quarter in a slot machine because I can't stand to lose even a quarter. But yes, I would support casino gambling if the citizens of Galveston vote for it and if the Texas legislature lets us have it. I definitely would support it. I also would want to put some strict enforcements, though, in code enforcements and to protect the neighborhoods and work with the neighborhoods to make sure that they're protected more than anything. That we would have to put those type of enforcements in, and that I would be very active in doing.
Thank you. Jerry Kinnear.
I would support casino gambling, but I also would support allowing the citizens of Galveston to have a say as to whether they want it here or not.
Mr. Quiroga.
Do I support casino gambling? Yes. Everybody knows that it has to go to the state. The state has to approve it before it comes down to the island. but I would try my best to create a committee to get our legislatures that are here that support Galveston to go up to Austin and help support. I think it needs to be on the next ballot, non-binding, but hey, let's go ahead and do it. Let's see what the people want. I believe that all the problems we have in gambling are missed. Everybody has a vice. So basically what I'm saying is we have the technology, we have people that can work in this industry, that can tell us where our flaws are and build on that premises. Thank you.
Thank you. I know that was a tough one, but you guys were great. Okay, this one's for the mayors. Do you think the seawall parking plan should be managed by the city or given over to the park board? Mr. Roof, that one entertained you. Let's start with you.
Here we go. Okay. The question of paid parking on the seawall has been going on for at least 50 years. I've been involved with it for at least 10 years. We have seen multiple proposals come from the city, from the Chamber of Commerce, from all over the place, and me and my friends have looked at them. In the last 10 years, we have never seen one where the numbers are realistic and will make anybody in this city money. The only people who are going to make money on parking meters is a parking meter company. That is not where we need to go. My opinion is that the Texas Constitution has an open beaches amendment to it. And that amendment says, and the people of Texas voted on it, and it passed 3-1. It says that our public beaches, we have a right of ingress to and egress from them that cannot be restricted by the local government. And we have an unrestricted right of use of those public beaches. My view is that Galveston beaches are open for the people of Texas. Come on down here, have a great time, because when you're having fun in Galveston, you're going to spend your money here. Galveston makes money because of that open beach, and the city will make money because of that beach. Let's keep the beach open.
Thank you. Mr. Rosen.
I wasn't even aware that the city could turn it over to the Parks Board. I thought the city had to run it, and that was my understanding. The way the law was passed was the city had to operate this, not the Parks Board. And unbeknownst to all, the city made a presentation the other day to the Parks Board to see if they had an interest in taking over the parking. The parking could be very profitable if it was run right. If you have 1,000 cars a day, you know, that's 8,000 cars, $8,000. You do that for 300 years only, you've got $2,400,000. Now, surely the city ought to be able to figure a way out to capitalize on some of that revenue.
Thank you. Bo Rollins.
I in no way would leave that responsibility up to the Parks Board. I would keep it with the city. We have constantly broken promises with our leadership and government lately to the citizens of Galveston, and we don't need one more layer of bureaucracy to continue to break those promises, so I would keep it with the city.
Thank you. Mayor Jaworski.
All right, now, warning, we've got opponents up here, so people are going to talk about broken promises and lies and false rumors and all that. Stop. Our language that we voted on, 61%, so that we could get some money to clean our seawall when people litter it, says that such seawall parking funds shall be administered by the city. It doesn't say the park board can't help us collect them. If you go down to Stewart Beach, they have these wonderful Walt Disney looking guys in their wonderful uniforms, and they look like great ambassadors. They collect the money at Stewart Beach. The people come down, they're happy, they handle cash. You know, we were told about a year ago, don't let anyone handle cash. That violates internal controls. Well, the guy who said that to us is actually leaving the city. On reflection, this is the best way. We'll all keep it in the city. The city will administer the funds, meaning we'll select with your input what amenities wind up on the seawall. But why shouldn't we use the park board, who knows how to staff seasonally, to collect it? That's what we should do.
Okay, that was a pretty lively exchange. By the way, at this moment, I would like to thank Tony Dabney and Ian White with BOI Zeitgeist magazine, because to my knowledge, they're the only media besides the Electric Theater Radio Hour that's covering this event, and I think this forum is pretty important, and I have no idea why we've been ignored by the other sources, but thank you, Tony and Ian. Now, here's one for the council people, and we'll start that in with Mr. Quiroga this time. Ongoing audits are revealing questionable salary and overtime payments to city personnel. some dating back several years. Oversight is ultimately the responsibility of the city manager. How do you see city council's role in controlling and correcting these issues?
That's really a simplistic answer for that. You need good management. For the last 5 or 10 years, we've had poor management. That's the bottom line. Having a background in engineering, like some of the candidates have said, you do your research. And that's part of my responsibility coming from a field of engineering. I do all the research. So basically what we need to do is we need to change that charter, because I've talked to some of the councilmen, Mr. Greenberg, and I asked why doesn't he do certain things. Basic answer I get feedback is the council cannot go to some of the people on the staff and ask certain questions. That needs to be changed. We need more flexibility with the council and staff. As I said before, I've done over 50 to 60, 70 audits while I was working for Balfour Beatty as well as AT&T. So this is what we need. We need a better management team.